Welcome to the Astro Psyche. This is your weekly astrology forecast for November 4th through the 10th. And this week is about holding space for uncertainty. We have Venus in Sagittarius making a square to Neptune in Pisces, bringing up this sort of liminal, wondering, in between sort of energy. And then we also have the Sun making a helpful aspect to Saturn. So I know for a lot of us, holding space for uncertainty is probably not what we want to be doing, probably not what we want to be hearing this particular week at this particular time. And I think that simply acknowledging what is right now, this experience of being in the uncertainty and what that brings up for us at a feeling somatic level can be helpful. And then also, I want to talk about this week about how we can connect in with the Sun Saturn energy this week to find a sense of grounding and stability, and hopefully even a sense of enduring empowerment in this time. My name is Shawna McGrath. I'm a psychotherapist and an astrologer. As always, I'm so honored to be able to share the astrology of this week with you from a psychological perspective. So let us talk about first Venus square Neptune this week. So Venus is in the sign of Sagittarius. Venus is the planet that rules over love, beauty, attraction, aesthetic, the arts, people who are feminine, women in their identity or presentation in some way. We could also say even Venus is a symbol of women's issues or femme issues in general. And so this particular week, Venus is making a more tense or confronting aspect with Neptune. Neptune is the planet that symbolizes the dissolving of the what we conceptualize as material existence. Neptune reminds us that we have something greater than what we can actually perceive via our physical senses. So Neptune is spirituality, it's mysticism, mystical figures. It's also representative of alternate states of consciousness and how that works for us, whether that is through dreams or daydreaming or getting lost in the flow of a moment, being moved by something that is beautiful or meaningful to you. And it also symbolizes altered states of consciousness via substances or dissociating or checking out in any way that we do that, which is, we can do that via social media or by working or by even like socializing in a way where we're there, but we're not really there. And so Neptune holds all of the ways that we connect with non-ordinary reality. And so when Venus and Neptune come together in this way, especially in a square aspect, so a square happens when planets are making an aspect in that they have their mode in common, but they're in different elements. So in this case, we're working with mutable energy. That's the mode. That is the action, the way of being of the signs. And so mutable energy, it's very flowing, it's very fluid. There is this sense of paradox. The mutable signs are also called double-bodied signs. So there's sort of this this multiplicity in the mutable signs. So things are very changeable. Things can feel like they are fluid or changing, or that they are more than one thing at the same time. And so there's a bit of tension here with the square. It is not an impossible energy to reconcile. I really want to emphasize that, because these planets right now, they have something in common. They have this mutable mode that is that they are operating from. In this case, it's Venus in the element of fire and Neptune in the element of water. And so fire and water is a little more tricky to come to terms with. So, let's ground this a little bit and what this may look like. So I think that this can be a sense of feeling really drawn to and moved by something, really enchanted by something, but also sort of having an element of maybe confusion around it as well. There can be this, when we have Venus Neptune, there can be this sense of wanting to or needing to check out in some way. And I want to emphasize the relational component of checking out because there is this way with Venus Neptune, especially, that it really speaks to when we don't feel like we have safe social connection, that invokes a sense of fear, and for some folks that invokes a sense of needing to not feel that as much, and so then there is that checking out, that dissociation. And so I think this is something that can come up for all of us this week, no matter where we are. And I think that a part of the work with this week, a part of the moving into and moving through this week, is staying grounded in what it is that you are experiencing in the moment and doing what you need to do to take care of yourself, whatever that looks like for you, to feel a sense of connection to yourself and connection to people, places, and situations that feel safe for you, that feel centering, that feel grounding, and that connect you with the Neptune function in a way that is that works for you. So that may be through dance or music or art, or doing meditation or a ritual, or going on a really long walk. Anything also, like really channeling into the Venus energy here too, anything that feels pleasing to you, that feels enjoyable. These are all Venus themes. So Venus is relationships. It is connecting with other people. And it's also this sense of what feels soothing to us, what feels enjoyable. And sometimes when we have Venus Neptune, there's a bit of like conflict with these things too, and how to actually do this, how to make room and space for this. And so I think this is a beautiful week to look at what is coming up for you unconsciously. So Neptune is also a symbol of the unconscious, more so the collective unconscious energy that we can all connect into. And I think that Venus Neptune can be a symbol of great love and great connection, like really states of feeling deeply connected to a person or to yourself or to the world, to nature. And it can also represent feeling very alone or feeling afraid, feeling like you're in the void, or there's this like fear that comes up. Neptune is also our intuition, our intuitive function. And so when there's a challenge around that, when there's a tension around that, like we have this week with Venus squaring it, there can be an intuition that someone has, and maybe that intuition goes very quickly into fear. And so I think this is also something to notice when you're starting to feel afraid or unsafe, to acknowledge that, to thank yourself, thank your psyche for making you aware that there is something that you need in this moment to feel more safe and secure, and to wonder what that may be, what may help you in the moment to feel soothed. And even if you cannot do that in this exact moment, that you can hold space for the wanting and the needing of that, and that is valid, and that you need what you need. So the other component of this too is we also have Mercury in the sign of Sagittarius. So there's Mercury is a little bit farther away from making a square to Neptune, but it's in the room, so to speak. And so I think that we're talking about these transits personally, but also collectively, that there's this sort of swirling kind of feeling that I feel when I'm feeling into this Venus-Neptune in particular at this particular time. So the more that we can ground and center and sort of smooth out our energy in our own selves, that is going to help us to show up and to do what needs to be done, and to frankly just have a more centered experience through whatever it is that you're encountering at the moment. Now, another aspect this week that I think is really helpful, that will help us root in and ground in and cultivate a sense of safety, is we have the Sun trine Saturn this week. So we're still in Scorpio season. Happy birthday to my Scorpio people. So Sun in Scorpio, water sign, fixed water sign, is making a trine to Saturn in Pisces. So also a water sign, mutable water sign in this case. And when we have a trine like this, there is an easy organic flow of energy. It doesn't always mean that the thing is easy, but it means that the planets are working together. They're positioned to work together in a way where things can happen in a way that is more effortless, where there is an ease and a flow to it. Now, both of these planets have a sense of strength and stability and groundedness to them. So the Sun is about our sense of vitality, our self-esteem, our independence, and our ongoing journey of differentiation, our own ongoing journey of saying and feeling, this is who I am. I am a unique individual that is also affected and influenced by others in my environment, but that there is something that that is cohesive about you as a person in this lifetime. This is the Sun, and that there is this radiance that comes through as we integrate the parts of self that we identify with over time. And this is a lifelong process. So the Sun has this very centering, empowering, and vitalizing effect. And so wherever the Sun is at any point in time, there's a focal point on your process of self-becoming, of self-actualization. There's a focal point on what it is that's integrating. And so in this case, this month, it is themes around Scorpio. So themes around emotional bonds and interdependentness, interconnectedness, how we are vulnerable with each other, and all of the feelings that come up around that. Scorpio is also about our resources and what we have to give and share and what we have to receive. And when the Sun comes into aspect with Saturn, there's themes here around our sense of living in a finite material existence. So very different than Neptune, right? Saturn is about our mortality. It's about the time and structure of our lives. It's about the commitments and sacrifices that we make in our lives in order to build and create something that we want. It's about the things that we say no to and the things that we say yes to. It is also about boundaries and what it is that we're devoted to. Again, this is sort of like with commitments. The things, Saturn is also a symbol of the strength and wisdom that we gain through experience over a long-term period in time. And so I really love and appreciate this aspect to this particular week, because this is about bringing a focus to your sense of self-esteem, your confidence, your ability to regulate yourself. It's also about bringing more focus to the ways that you are capable and your sense of agency and your sense of vitality as well. And so I think also this week there is, at a more personal level, there's an opportunity to look at how far you've come, what you have accomplished, what you've gained through your experience. And this can be any time period that you want. I think that in a Saturn fashion, we could look at a couple of different time periods. We could look at 7 years ago, from 7 years ago to now, how far you've come, what you've learned, what you've experienced, the joys as well as the hardships, and what you've gained through the hardships, especially this is very Saturn material. We could also look at what has been happening for you around your responsibilities and the effort that you've been putting into your life from March of 2023 to now. Because March in 2023 was when Saturn moved into the sign of Pisces. And Saturn will be here in Pisces until spring, or until spring in the northern hemisphere 2025. So we have a little bit of time with Saturn here, but we're moving towards the finish line, so to speak. And we could also look at a year ago, just one simple year as far as where you've come from then to now. And I want you to, as you're thinking about this, to give yourself credit for the things that you have accomplished, whether those are things that you can put on a resume or that you can share with someone, or if they are inner transformations, because all of them are valid. And this is also a part of the Venus-Neptune experience too, is that Neptune reminds us that there is more than just what we put on our resume or what we may be able to share with someone at a verbal or logical level. There is so much more that is happening underneath the surface. And so I think this week there's this sort of mix around like really feeling uncertain, feeling sort of like in this liminal space. And then there's also this resource that we can connect to with Sun Saturn via reflecting on where we find our sense of strength and confidence, and honoring how far you've come in your life and the adversity that you've overcome, the challenges that you faced, and that you are still here and here hopefully for many more years to come, in again typical Saturn fashion. The last part that I'll say about this week is that we have our first quarter moon in Aquarius on Friday, the 8th of November. And so the first quarter moon is this transition point. We have our, so in the week previous to this, we had our new moon in Scorpio on November 1st. And so this is the seeding of the new beginning around our emotional bonds and our ability to feel deeply and intensely. And so the first quarter moon is this symbolic decision point within that cycle, within that new beginning. And so it can be more subtle, it can be more direct, but there is this point of sort of deciding how you want to focus your energy. It's a point of discernment. And so this is we're feeling into this, and the whole week, this week and next week, we're moving in the growth oriented, more externally focused phase of the lunar cycle with the moon waxing. And with the first quarter moon being in Aquarius, there's also this theme around embodying what is authentic to you, what is true to you, while also being involved in your social circle, whatever that looks like for you, being involved in your group or your family or the collective in a way that you can maintain your integrity but also be a part. And for Aquarius, this is often it's not like a one and done situation. It's this constant refinement of how to honor yourself and then also be in relationship as well. So this is also a theme that's happening this week as well. Now, the last thing I'll say is that we are continuing our experience with Mars being in Leo. So the week previous to this, Mars moved into Leo on November 3rd. And Mars will be in Leo until January 6th. And a part of this is because Mars will station retrograde in December 2024. So we have a lot of time here with Mars in Leo. We're gonna like really sink in and get our snacks and be together on this journey. Mars is about our instincts, our drive to act, to advocate, to be direct, to fight for something, to stand up for something. And Leo is about the creative self-expression, leadership. Leo, like Aquarius, is also very much about authenticity and being able to share from a place of, like Leo is really about sharing from a place of joyful, sometimes playful authenticity. And Leo is also very much about giving and receiving love, adoration, affection, wanting. And so these are themes that also may come up over the next couple of months that we're going to lean more into over time. And so that felt important to name this week as well, because this is a fresh energy that we're stepping into this week, that we're sort of walking into the pool of. So let's do some tarot. Let's pull some cards for you. And as always, I love hearing how you're doing, what's coming up for you as you're hearing about this astrology. And as I'm shuffling, this is a time for you to connect in with yourself via focusing on your breathing or your body, or taking a moment of stillness or of rhythmic movement, whatever feels soothing for you. And this is also a time to bring your focus into your heart, to ask for the support and guidance of your spiritual guidance team, ancestors, whatever or whoever it is that you connect for spiritual or metaphysical assistance. Ask that they're here with you now. And in your heart, if there is a topic, a wondering question that arises, allow that to form. Good. And I'm going to pull 3 cards. So also, if there's a number between 1 and 3 that you would like to choose now. that card will be special to you. So, first card. This is the Wild Unknown deck by Kim Krans. And the first card is the Father of Wands. This is also known as the King of Wands. And in this deck, in this image, there is what looks like a cobra snake, and it's sort of like loosely coiled, and then it's sitting up, and then there's one wand that's sort of like behind it, and then there's this little very delicate red, orange, and yellow lightning bolt behind it. So the King of Wands, the king in general in each suit, is about leadership. It's about autonomy, influence, and your ability to make an impact, um, to be impactful. And how you do that via the wands is about connecting in with your passion, your enthusiasm, your creativity. And that this is not forceful. This is about you existing as a person. I'm really feeling the Mars and Leo energy with this card in particular. Like, this is about you embodying your role as an important person, no matter what it is that you do in your life, vocationally, or your role in your social circles, etc. This is a reminder that you have an impact, and that we need you to be here. Like, I'm really thinking about the snake, like standing up very tall, and the snake also is this symbol of healing in many traditions. It's a symbol of healing, and also in India, it's a symbol of the rising of energy, the rising of all of your systems coming online. This is sometimes called the Kundalini. And so there's something here that is maybe, possibly rising in you to activate you, to energize you. And there's like, I'm feeling like there's this thread for you to follow and to watch where it is that you are being guided. Now, the second card is the Nine of Pentacles. And in this image, there's 4 feathers that create a diamond shape, and inside the diamond, there are 9 pentacle shapes. And the background here also has this a lot of warm colors, like the red and yellow and orange. And this card tends to be about financial success, and it's not it's also success that you've gained via your own volition. So it's not like it's not like money dropping out of the sky or something sort of happening unexpectedly. It's like there has been a journey towards success, and it can be financial success. The pentacles tend to be more about practical, worldly matters, but it can also be this sense of inner satisfaction. And I feel that relates to the third card, which I'll share with you in a moment. But it's like there are things that you have done and that you are doing over time that give you something, that there is a reaping of the benefits of your actions, and that it's important for you to acknowledge that. I think this is the reminder of this card, no matter where you are at in your life, that there is a sense of enjoyment or celebration or honoring. That word feels very important, like this honoring of your path and the things that you have available to you. And then the last card is the Nine of Cups. So interesting. We have 2 9 cards. So the Nine of Cups is sometimes called the card of emotional satisfaction. And whereas the Pentacles are about the resources that you have that maybe are more material, more practical, the Nine of Cups is about the inner resources and having a sense of emotional satisfaction. I think that we could think of this like it emotional satisfaction. It also feels kind of like having a sense of emotional regulation to me too. Like it may not necessarily be like, ah, yes, I have all the things that I want and I'm so happy about it. That's one version. But it could also be this ability to ground and regulate and to be okay no matter what is happening in your life. And there's something here, this like the overarching theme, the beginning of this situation is around your autonomy, your empowerment, your ability to feel like you matter in some way, like you are important to other people. And there's this like empowerment energy that's happening this week. And sort of the effects of that are around feeling like you have a sense of achievement. I don't even know if that's the quite the right word, but it's like that that you have done something, that you have accomplished, or yeah, I don't know, that there's a different word here that I want to, like, I guess I'm thinking achievement not in the practical sense as in like I have something on my resume, like I said, but it's more like that you've been through some stuff and here you are, and that is amazing, and that you are existing and fantastic. That's kind of the feeling that I'm getting through this. And so there's like this empowerment theme, and a part of that is honoring what you have done thus far and what you are going to do. And that from there can be a sense of emotional regulation, and that is available to you this week. And I think that a part of this is like finding that sense of the centeredness, like really thinking about the kundalini is working through the center channel, and it's this process that happens, that it moves up and down, and that a part of that experience is honoring your path, honoring where you are, where you've come, how you're doing, and that there is something nourishing about that process that's coming in for you. All right. That is your forecast for the week. I am wishing you a most easeful, comforting, safe, and secure week ahead. As always, my name is Shawna McGrath, and if you want to find out more about me and my work, you can find me on my website, theastropsyche.com. I'll see you next week. Take good care.